Testing, testing, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. I think we're good.
Me, baby, bust it open, bring it back. I'm the realest killer in it, I don't even need an act. Throwing up the racks, I'm just throwing up the racks.
What's happening, friends? What is happening? Welcome back to the channel, Football Therapy with me, your host Jan. I thought I'd put a hat on today, but with these studio lights on me, I'm already way too hot. So the egg is out, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're doing well. Really do hope that. Chelsea news, a couple of things to speak about, but I do want to look very shortly at the Chelsea squad and go through who's good, who's bad, and who's needs to improve. Dare I say, rating the players? Is that something I'm going to remember throughout the video and looking and talking about each player? Possibly. But it's going to be a fun video, and I'm so glad you're back here with me, genuinely and wholeheartedly. So, strap yourselves in. Thank you for joining me. Thank you, as always, for supporting the content. You can do so simply by liking, subscribing, commenting, sharing, and other nice stuff that I would appreciate. All right. Ooh, it's getting hot in here, so take off my glasses. All right, what's going on then? Firstly, some good news. Nicholas Jackson will face no further action for his slap on the weekend. The striker will be available as normal. And to be honest, I think yesterday's video I was like, yeah, I haven't seen it. I'm sure it's fine. I have since seen it, and I was like, uh-oh. Because he does like he could easily have been suspended for that, I think, personally. It was naughty. But hey, we like it. We like a bit of needle. We like a bit of a brawl. And I imagine when we go to the City ground in the reverse fixture, there'll be a bit of spikiness there, which is fun. Chelsea, of course, are on track to break their record for yellow cards in a single season, which is an unwanted record, but provided, I mean, look, it's good because we want to see fight. We want to see players caring, getting stuck in and fighting for each other. Great. And I've said for donkey's years, I think Chelsea are too soft, and all the great Chelsea teams love a bit of a ruck. As long as no one truly gets hurt. So yeah, fine, great. Although, I do not want to see Cucurella and Wesley Fofana banned for Anfield away. Both of them. That sucks. Genuinely. Big time. Don't do that. Chelsea and Nottingham Forest have also been charged by the FA with failing to control their players. Basically, that was always going to happen when a bit of a scrap. And, you know, not happy, essentially. So that always happens when there's a bit of a fight. And yes, finally, Enzo Maresca's spoken about no, I'm reading the wrong thing. Sorry, my brain is melting. It's very, very hot. We are about to look at the players of the men's squad. I'm going to tell you how I feel. And it's a safe space here, so let's... we all have differing opinions, all right? I might be like, yeah, I think he's been good, but I don't know about him. So I am going to try and rate... out of 10. Should I do that out of 10? Because I could do like a grading system with like A+. Now let's do out of 10. 1 being you are actively out to get us on the pitch. And 10 being basically unachievable. Yeah, or maybe we'll get 10. I seriously doubt that. So as we go, write your comments down in the comment section below, your thoughts on each player that I speak about. And, you know, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me, etc. All right, so here we go. There's loads of goalkeepers. Naturally, I'm not going to include Bergstrom or Bettinelli because we haven't seen them play football. Let's start with Jorgensen. I'm going to give him... It depends. Is five cruel or is 5 like average? That's the thing we need to like ascertain here. Because if 5's average, let's just say, oh, I don't know. I'm going to say 5, okay? So that is average. Man, what is that? Because at the top level as well, people will think, oh, 6 or 7's average. I'm going to give him a 6, Jorgensen. I think he's come in, he's looked okay as the B team goalkeeper. He's obviously got significant minutes already because he's starting every Conference League game, including 2 qualifiers, I believe he was the starter, and obviously cup game. So yeah, man, yeah, all right, you can have a 6. Now Rob Sanchez is playing with my mind, because if you look at that performance before the international break against Forest, that's like a 9 for a goalkeeper performance. You know, it was like 8 or 9 saves, 2 or 3 of them were absolutely sensational. But like, you know, the game before against Brighton, the 2 goals in a 4-2 win were on him as far as I'm concerned. And then, like, you know, 3 games before, he had 2 really good games before that, but the game before that, it was really terrible. I'm going to give him a 7 because he's like Jekyll and Hyde, bro. Do you know what I mean? If he was just doing what, you know, he's done in a couple of games a few games ago, and indeed against Forest, he would be on like 8, 9, but he's got to be demoted to a 7 for that for me. So there's your goalkeepers, mate. Axel Disasi, I'm going to give... He has been called upon to play in the B team. He's played a little bit of right back. He's kind of like... I'm going to say a 5, genuinely. I know he's come in and done all right at certain moments, and he has been that B team player that's, you know, been strong so far in Europe. But it's just, yeah, he still worries me. He's still shown big problems, and I'm not saying he's been a Axel disaster, but I'm going to score him right down in the middle, which is not good enough for Chelsea as far as I'm concerned. Now, Marc Cucurella, he is very good, isn't he? Like, Cucurella is good. He cost 62 million or 61 million, but he's a good footballer, and he is demonstrating that. He, of course, was integral for Spain winning the Euros, playing behind Nico Williams. He's demonstrated this season that he can continue doing the Pochettino inversion fullback role, but also he can get up the pitch and overlap and underlap with Jadon Sancho. Although actually last game against Nottingham Forest, interestingly, he was sort of being a little bit more reserved, and it was actually, you saw Enzo Fernandez doing a lot of underlapping, if you remember the Forest game with Jadon Sancho. But very, very strong from Cucurella. I'm going to give him an 8. An 8, although 5 yellow cards, and he don't have him Fanfield, so I'm very upset. Tosin Adara Bioyo, because it is like that. There is an extra vowel that sneaks in. You got to get it. Tosin Adara Bioyo. I think so, because I just inclined to say Tosin Adara Bio. Sort of, you know, slide through the end part. Tosin looks like a great signing. He is a very tall centre-back that you'll feel generally safe with him there. And in fact, like, for his new club settling in, all things considered, because he's just got here, I'm going to give him a little bit of slack. I'm going to give him a 7, bro, because he's just got here. Now, Benoit Badiashile, I think, is marginally been more impressive than Disasi, purely because he is a left footer, and obviously he's actually quite good at passing. Now, Levi Colwill in this Chelsea side is the passy boy. He does all the passing. And Badiashile's certainly better at passing than Disasi. I'm going to give him a 6. I think I gave Disasi a 5. I'll give Badiashile a 6. Like, both of them, they're clearly, you know, despite both being older than Fofana and Colwill, they're like the second choices behind them. They can get better. They will get better. They have to. But you can have a 6. Now, Levi Colwill, his, like, highlighted here in blue, his passing stats have been insane. I, like, really thought about giving this guy a 9 just now, because he's been so good. Some people will say, yeah, it's just so good. But can I give him a 9? 5 yellow cards already. I mean, we like that fight in spikiness. Like 8. A high 8, an 8 for Levi Colwill, because he's a great defender. He's made some excellent last-minute blocks. He's, of course, his passing's off the wall. Like, it's absolutely insane. So, a strong 8. Chile, sadly, Chile and James won't get ratings for not playing football. Gusto, now. Lots of stuff to consider when speaking about Malo Gusto, because he historically, well, the season before this, was a dynamic up and down flying right back who got loads of assists getting right down the touchline. And now it's a bit different. He's inverting into midfield. And when we got Enzo Maresca, we were like, right, yeah, no worries. Cucurella can invert, Reece James can invert. But Chile and Gusto are just old school fullbacks. But no. Gusto, my friend, mon gars, mon frère, frérot, mon ami, he is excellent inverting. Well, he's good inverting into the midfield, and he's taken to the tasks really well. Not perfect. He's not flexing his skill set like massively in the new role, but he's looking really good. I just feel quite cold giving him a 7, but I'm gonna give him a 7. Now, Wesley Fofana, he is by design 50% of our new long-term centre-back partnership of Colwill and Fofana. They do demonstrate, they complement each other really, really well. Of course, Colwill is a sort of hang back a little bit and spray the ball around. Fofana, a bit more aggressive in coming out. He's a great ball carrier. He's very fast as well. You can run very fast. And he can score a goal, not just in the set piece, but with his feet. He's a footballer. Do you know what I mean? And he's aggressive, but he hasn't had the strongest start ever. I have to give him a 6. He's my boy, and I think he's going to become the guy. And they're praising him at Chelsea. They're saying this guy was out for a year, considering he's doing really, really well. We really like him. Yeah, I'm going to give him a 6. Now, Renato Vega, £11.8 million or something, very, very cheap, not expected to really play for Chelsea. This is tough, right? Because he's already played multiple different positions. He scored a goal for us. I almost am inclined to give him a higher score, based on the expectation of him exceeding the expectation. We didn't even know if he was going to be in the squad, but he's played so many minutes. He's in the top 8 for minutes played, over some big names already. So I think that I'm gonna give him a 7 because he's had weak moments when he concedes silly fouls, literally just pushes players over, and I'm thinking, why are you doing that? But I love him. He's 10 out of 10 for vibes. My glasses are steaming up because my head is hot. My head is hot trying to defend Wesley Fofana. I'm gonna give him a 7. I'm gonna give him a 7 just because I didn't expect anything of him, and he's been really, really useful. Enzo Fernandez. Now, he is a huge talking point. People are speaking about how Lavia, especially because Enzo Maresca has already been quoted how, Caicedo and Lavia can play together. Enzo Fernandez. It's tricky because he's currently wearing the captain's armband. He's a marquee, very expensive signing, £105 million. He is a World Cup winner and Copa America winner, and he clearly loves fighting for the cause, and that's why he's been given the captain's armband in the absence of Reece James. So very important in that sense. Is he playing up to his potential? Absolutely not. He's had moments. I'm not going to pretend that he hasn't had moments this season, because he's had excellent passes. Maybe in the Brighton game, he demonstrated some amazing passes. I think I was doing on my Instagram, I was speaking about, these are nice passes. Shameless plug for the second channel and Instagram handle, Football Yannick. Not on Twitter anymore, but if you want to subscribe to that channel and follow me on Instagram, Football Yannick. I've definitely been like, wow, Enzo's having a great game. But he's also had poor games, frustrating moments, poor decision making, and again, understandably at times been asked to get into that final third more than the likes of a Caicedo. But I'm starting to wonder, would a Caicedo be better getting into the final third, and combining in these moments of overloads and stuff? But then you want to keep Caicedo back, not Enzo Fernandez, because who are you going to trust more? Of course, Caicedo. Caicedo's just been eminently the better player all round. But Fernandez has got it in his locker. He is a passing, creator. He's robust as well. He's not going to take any so-and-so, but he's not been good enough by his standards. I'm going to give him a 5. Chukwuemeka won't get a rating, no football. Dewsbury Hall, I've been a little bit disappointed. Not with Chelsea, because I thought that's so tough, because I thought he was going to be the guy to get Chelsea playing Maresca ball well, and maybe even top 4 by the second international window. We find ourselves in the top 4 by the second international window, but it's got nothing to do with getting Dewsbury Hall. So that's the way you got to look at it. But he's a wicked lad. He did that great interview. I'm very happy we've got him. He costs 30 million. Fine. You know, he's 25, 26, whatever. And the one thing I'll say about him is he makes a lot of initial good decisions. Like, he knows exactly where to go, who to combine with, but he's made poor shots. Now he's obviously got that goal, first Chelsea goal. Maybe he'll chill out a little bit with his decision making or just snapshotting. But he does the right stuff in the build-up, basically. I'm going to give him a 5, which seems a little bit harsh, but I thought he was going to be more important. We don't need him to be important now, but I'm going to give him a 5 with scope to be much better. Caicedo. Now, I think Caicedo is an amazing footballer. He's got it all as just a midfielder generally, like functional midfielder. So defensive, but also progressive. Maybe not like a goal scorer. Maybe not going to get loads of assists. Although we've seen him get a couple of beautiful assists, and we've seen him score from the friggin' halfway line. So he's got it. He has amazing moments. I think he ended last season incredibly strongly. I think he's been very good largely this season. But I'm going to give him a 7. Fernandez gets a 5. Caicedo gets a 7, which is probably about fair here. Right. I'm not going to do Amari Kellyman. Cassidy, he's played a little bit, hasn't he? And he's been a crucial player in a couple of the midweek games, playing as like that deepest lying midfielder, which to his credit was good work from him because he's an attacking. He's like not the Italian Frank Lampard, but he wants to get in the box. You know, he's quite tall as well. He loves winning headers and aerials. We thought he was done for, didn't we? That he's going to go on loan. He has been useful. I'm going to give him a 6. Contextually, from what we expected from him and how useful he's been, and how he looks like he's going to by the end of the season. If we get easier cup draws. Obviously, I know we've got Newcastle in the FA Cup, but maybe if we get more achievable ones along the way. Is it the Carabao Cup when the FA Cup starts? I'm so confused. Anyway, easier cup ties, easier midweek European ties. He will be used, and yes, glad to have him. Now, Romeo Lavia, this is the man that could eventually dethrone Enzo Fernandez. And to be honest, the Chelsea owners, they don't want Enzo Fernandez to not play, and I don't either. I think he is wearing the captain's armband. He's a good player. But I imagine if you said to Bowley and Igbali, if indeed they are friends again, we're going to take Enzo out of the starting lineup, they'd probably be like, oh, no, who are you putting in? £60 million Romeo Lavia. Well, if it's going to be anyone, it's fine with him. A guy they spent 60 million quid on. If you said, we're putting Cassidy in, like a £12 million player or something, they'd be like, what? No way. But if you say, look, you spent 60 million quid on this guy, well, if it's got to be anyone, it's going to be him. Yeah, of course, winning is paramount, isn't it? Lavia, profile-wise, very, very different to Enzo. Can make the midfield a lot more solid and functional. Very good dribbler, very good ball carrier. Although he hasn't really played. And to be honest, the minutes he's had look quite bad. I'm not going to rank him because he's, again, coming back from injury. Now, Pedro Neto. Pedro. Before the Forest game, a lot of people were calling for him to replace Noni Madueke in the A team. Of course, Pedro scored in a couple of the previous midweek games, looking very good. He has, of course, had an assist in the Premier League for Joao Felix as well. And we all know Pedro Neto as just such a sleek and elite Premier League operator. He's just super good, man. He's super friggin' good. He really, really is. We saw him a little bit on the left, where we kind of want to see him on the right because that's his preferred flank. And now we've got Jadon Sancho. Yeah, as a chance to see him. I don't know what to expect, because then we got Jadon Sancho. If we hadn't signed Jadon Sancho, he would be playing on the left, I think, as a starter. Not his favourite flank again. We would have seen it, and we would have had a bigger sample size to judge him in the Premier League, at least. And he would have had more time to settle with his teammates and develop chemistry. Despite all that, I think he's been very good. He is an elite player. I'm between a 6 and a 7. I think there's nothing offensive about 6, considering... And there's plenty of time for that to go up. So I'm going to give him a 6. I'm just trying to think of the players that are coming as well. 6. All right. Now, Mudryk. Okay, let's talk about Mudryk. He has had 2 promising performances. He looked good when he came on against Forest. He got an assist in the previous game. He's looked good against some Farmers, but he also looked really, really worrying up until this recent good form against not very good opposition. I'm not writing off Mudryk's Chelsea career, but he has been worryingly concerning to me. Up until he's shown a few good flashes really recently against not great opposition. I'm not going to let that, we're judging him for the whole portion of the season so far. Again, not writing him off, but just days ago, everyone was saying we've got to loan him in January. So I'm going to give him a 4. Yes, he looked really good when he came on against Forest. He, lit up their left flank. We know he can do that. But for what he's supposed to be, he's a £62 million player that can go up to £88 million. What he's supposed to be, he's been at Chelsea for ages. He's not learning some basics. It's got to be a 4. I'm not writing him off. He can be amazing. He can be amazing. But he's not at the moment. He's a 4. Sorry, guys. Now, Noni Madueke. Again, a guy that up until Noni. Right, Noni's got 4 goals. So he's got the hat trick. I think he's got 4 goals. I don't think he's got any more in the Premier League. He got the hat trick against Wolves, which was great. He had identical goals set up by Cole Palmer, and he got that all-important great goal at the weekend against Nottingham Forest. He might have an assist or something in there too, and he's looked at points devastating. We spoke about Pedro Neto being a 6, and Noni, and he was knocking on the door to take Noni's place in the first team, in the Premier League team. But Noni did look really good the weekend, and Noni for me gets a 7. Massively high ceiling. I think Noni could be doing even better after that Wolves game. He could be an 8 or something, because he looked like he started snatching at chances basically. He's seen Palmer and Jackson get their contract extensions and pay rises, and he can see Neto coming, and I think he just basically started just snatching at stuff, which didn't serve him well. But he gets a 7. He's been good. And he's definitely my starting right winger for the moment. But again, I love Pedro Neto, and either or starts, I'm feeling good, to be honest. Probably equally so, but I think Noni, because of who Pedro is and how much he cost in Noni, and Pedro's got loads of Premier League experience, remember, as well. So Pedro 6, Noni 7, Mudryk 5. Joao Felix. Now, this is tough, because I actually really like Joao Felix. I think he's a bit of an artist. Obviously, when we slapped up Barrow, he was chipping the ball over for Nkunku, and he's had great moments. And he headed the ball well in the Forest game, but in the wrong direction. I like how he headed it. I really like Joao Felix. I really do. He's class. He's class. I don't want him starting for Chelsea right now, because clearly he's unless, of course, when Forest went down to 10 men, we took off Enzo Fernandez for Felix, so it wasn't like for like. And he just, stay on the edge of the box, Felix, and will be protected from transition because they're not going to attack that much. He can play as a striker, he can play as a left winger, he can play as an attacking midfielder. If we find a way for him to settle, he's got a good relationship with Enzo Fernandez. We saw that in the 6 months at Chelsea a year ago. They linked up well. He's good because he's great, Joao, because he runs in like a striker. He can head the ball. He can be a playmaker. He can do a bit of the Cole Palmer. But he is a sort of Galactico jack of all trades. We got him for good money as well. He was cheap, wasn't he? He was 40 million or something. Or the £38 million, 45 million euros. What's £37.85 million? Under £40 million. For Joao Felix, the signing's amazing, but we were so lucky to have so many signings. I'm going to say 6, because, he's just demonstrated that artistry, class in moments, but you need to be consistent. Now, we'll do the strikers then. Nico Jackson. Yeah, very good. Very good. I'm massively high on Nico Jackson, right? Because even when he's not scoring, he's just doing the right thing constantly. Any former Premier League striker, analyst, pundit journalist will tell you, you watch Jackson, he's doing the right thing always. And in Christopher Nkunku, who's regarded as, you know, and rightly so, an absolute elite goal scorer, superb finisher, Jackson, new kid on the block, he's not nowhere near as high profile as a name as Nkunku, keeps him out the side because what Jackson does at every game is really important. He's got a few goals, assist or two or something, you know, started strongly. You know what? This might be unpopular, but because of the stuff he does off the ball, like not numbers wise, so not goals and not assists, because of the stuff he does off the ball, I'm going to give him an 8. I feel like from where he is developing as a young striker, he's not Osimhen. He is scoring well. He can play with other players. He's really comfortable being moved out onto the flank after, of course, used to be a winger. And because of where he's on absolutely the right track, he gets an 8. Is that the first 8? Oh no, we gave Levi Colwill an 8. Christopher Nkunku scored a hat-trick against Farmers, but he's actually on a few goals already this season. That header really frustrated me. He can go through games without touching the ball as well. Was it Bournemouth? Did he score the goal against Bournemouth when he just didn't? I don't know. Good. Very strong. Very, very strong. Elite. Both of them are good. Both of them are going to get better. They have to get better because this team needs to just develop. We're not at the final destination yet. I'm going to give him a 7. Jackson 8 and Nkunku 7, which kind of makes sense because, you know, that one starts over the other in the first team. Mark Yu, which you can't see at the moment, he's there. I'm not going to rank him. He's come on. He's sort of run around a little bit. You know, he's doing all right. He scored a goal, didn't he? In the cup, did he? Well, he was in pre-season. I don't think he scored a goal yet. Yeah, I feel like it's unfair to rate him because it looked like he was going to go on loan. He sort of comes on to run around a little bit at the end of games now, doesn't he? I think it's unfair to rate him. I feel like he's just learning his teammates, learning English, about English football. It's a learning experience, you know? All right. So, the two English attackers, Jadon Sancho and Cole Palmer. Sancho has been a breath of fresh air, a £20 million breath of fresh air. Again, he's lowered his wages significantly to play for Chelsea. He's going to cost absolutely F all. He's a Chelsea fan, lest we forget. It's always a nice reminder. And he's a baller, like we've said before. He opens up that left-hand flank that Mudryk just simply didn't. You know, everyone locks down the other flank because Noni's there is good, but Palmer kind of operates on that side as well. And suddenly you have an outlet of a player to run at players. He's not fast, Sancho. He's not as fast as Noni, but he's so technically good. He can like jink past players, but he can't like, you know, knock it past them and sprint to the ball like Noni can. He's not as fast as Noni, but he's super technically good. He opens up their left flank. He's got 3 assists in 4 games. Even in the Forest game, he had really good moments. I'm not going to give him an 8, but I'm going to give him a 7 because people thought, you know, with his Man United days, obviously it was Ten Hag that's just the wrong guy for him. But like, you know, 3-4 at Man United. He's come to Chelsea, he's been reborn, and he's a 7 for me. You know, maybe if he got yet another assist and for the winner against Forest, that could have been cranked up to an 8. Now, Cole Palmer. 9. I don't want to give a 10 because a 10 would be like if we were top of the league and he was top goal scorer. But no footballer in the Premier League has more goal involvements in 2024 than Cole Palmer. Or since he's joined Chelsea, he's just amazing. What can we say about Cole Palmer? Do you know what I mean? Goals, assists, scoring worldy free kicks, every different type of finish with both feet into the goal. The only thing he doesn't do is score headers, but he just doesn't jump for the ball. Eden Hazard didn't either, it's fine. I remember when Hazard finally scored a header, it was like hitting his head. But he's just amazing. Because he will score 4 goals in a game, like he did against Brighton, another team in blue. But he'll just play amazing balls. But both those shots, that skill to get those 2 shots off against Matt Sells against Forest, he's just incredible. So 9 because he's not Lionel Messi with a 10. But yeah, many of you will say, just give him a 10, Jan. Yeah, man, I've enjoyed speaking about each players here. Obviously, a bit of a long video. A good opportunity over the international break, of course. Let me know what you think. As always, comment down below your thoughts, your favorite players and performers. And thank you for liking. Thank you for subscribing. And I do hope to see you back here soon. Peace.